Inside the 14th episode of Outsourcing Live, get ready for a fun and exciting interview with a college teacher who loves to talk about biology and internet marketing. You'll learn about how he's able to work a full-time job and run an online business with the help of a virtual assistant. And also, inside the quick tip, I share with you a plugin that can help you get more traffic with your videos. So let's get into it.
Welcome to the Outsourcing Live podcast, where you will learn to build a virtual team to run your business. And now, your host, Tyrone Shum.
888-835-2414.
Oh yeah, this is awesome, man. Hey everyone, it's Tyrone Shum here from OutsourcingLive.com, and I've got an awesome special guest here, live from the US, and I got this special guest onto the call today because I've been listening to his podcast. He interviewed me actually last time, only about a couple of weeks ago, for his podcast, and it'd be awesome just to be able to get him onto the call to share his stories on what he's doing with outsourcing. So let me introduce you, Leslie Samuel from Learning with Leslie. So welcome, Leslie.
Hey, Tyrone. Thank you so much. Good to be on this interview with you today.
Awesome. You've got me so excited because I've been listening to every single one of your podcasts.
That's awesome to know.
Huge impact on me.
Awesome.
Well, what I wanted to do today, I wanted to just give everybody a quick intro of Leslie. I've known Leslie since Blog Mastermind and Become a Blogger Premium, which is a program that both Gideon and Yarrow ran on, probably about 3-4 years now. It's been quite a while.
Oh, wow.
And we probably started about the same time as bloggers, and we're all pretty new back then. And you know, back in there, we were all in the forum interacting with each other, and since then we've all been going to different sides of businesses. But at the end of the day, our core has always been about blogging, some way or another, either through video, through podcasting, or through writing it on our blogs. And what's interesting is that over a period of time as well, a lot of the bloggers that we've associated with have also used outsourcing to be able to get a lot more work done, and on top of that, be able to grow their businesses to a pretty good level that we're all pretty happy with right now. So I might actually pass the mic back over to Leslie to share with you his brief story, and then we'll probably jump into it and find out a little bit more about how he's outsourcing today. So passing the mic back to you, Leslie.
All right. Sounds good, Tyrone. In terms of my story, there's so many different parts to it, but I'll try to keep it brief. We did an interview one time in the past. You interviewed me in my earlier days for your blog when I was called the freebie guy.
That's right.
I'm not going to go into all those details, but just to kind of give a recap, I was just browsing the internet I don't even know what I was looking for, but somehow I found out about a way to make some money online dealing with freebie websites. And I started it. I decided, hey, not much to lose. And I just kind of got into it. And when I got into it and I was making some money, I got really excited because for some reason, even though I was looking for a way to make some money online, I didn't fully expect it to happen. So I started doing some of the things that I was learning in the program that I was taking at the time. And I made money on my first day. I made like $70 on day one.
Nice.
And I continued, and I became kind of one of the guys that were well known in the industry. But the reason why I got so well known is because I started my blog. And this was kind of around the same time that we met. And I started Blog Mastermind, and I learned about blogging, and I tried to apply that to what I was doing. And then I started using my blog to teach people about the freebie industry. Now, since then, I've kind of evolved significantly because first I started with freebies, and then I didn't like the direction the industry was going. We used to do freebie trading on the forums where you'd go and you'd meet people to sign up as your referral. And that was a big part of our business model. And what I was very uncomfortable with was the fact that if something went wrong with one of the forums, then all my business is gone.
Oh, yes.
And eyeing solely on these forums for getting traffic. So I started thinking about ways that I could, grow my own following. And first I started with my blog, and that worked well.
Yep.
Then I decided to start my own forum. And that went well also.
Exactly. I remember that's Calistal or something like that, .com. Or
Calistal,
Calistal101.com or something like that.
And I don't know why the name. I bought it from someone. The forum wasn't doing very well, so I bought it and I grew it from about 10,000 members to about 35,000 members over a
Wow.
span of a year. But this is where the problem started coming in because I was spending so much time on the forum trying to get things running. I was literally, if I was not at work, I was at my computer trying to get things going, trying to get traffic. And it was going well, but it was taking so much of my time. So much that I realized that I wasn't spending time with my wife. I wasn't spending time with friends. I wasn't doing anything besides going to work, come home, and work on my forum. And not only that, I'd go to work on my forum while I'm at work.
Work. It gets a little bit like that actually when you first start out. I did it a lot as well.
And I consider that growing pains. It's a part of the process. At least it was for me. So I came to a point where I got so overwhelmed with what I was doing that I needed to stop. And what I did at that point was exactly that. I just stopped. I didn't go to the forum. I didn't check my email from the forum. I didn't do anything. I didn't blog. I mean, I was making a decent amount of money before, and it went down to significantly less than I was making when I was, constantly going. But there was something significant that I realized then. What I realized then was I had done so much work in the past that when I stopped doing work, I was still making money based on the things that I was doing in the past. And that kind of showed me, okay, there's a better way to do what I'm trying to do. And I started to kind of reevaluate what I was doing, where I was being effective. Now, with the freebie trading, if you didn't work, you weren't making any money. But with my blogging and affiliate marketing that I was doing at my blog and so on, I had put in the work before so that there were things that just were happening on autopilot. I had my mailing list and, I had my autoresponders set up so that people were going through a funnel. And when I wasn't doing anything, I was making, anywhere between $500 and $1,500 a month, not doing anything.
Pretty good.
And then I said, wait, if I'm doing nothing and I'm making this money, why is it that I was working so hard before? And then I started kind of reshuffling what I was doing, reorganizing the way I did things, changing my emphasis from freebie trading to just general internet marketing and blogging and learning, teaching people how to do those types of things. And since then, a lot has happened. I'm sure we're going to get into some of that, but I've gone away from you having to do and do and do and do in order to make some money to more setting up kind of some passive income streams.
Yes.
And that's really the direction that I'm trying to head in, and that I'm heading. Since then, I've moved on to to launch a biology website, and that's a big part of what I'm doing. That's the biggest part of what I'm doing. I have some training stuff that I do, and I have my podcast that obviously you're listening to.
Yes.
But
It's
that's
awesome.
where I am right now.
Awesome. Hey, I just thought I'd mention to everyone who's listening to this call, you guys would have been going, what was that number at the beginning? And I forgot to mention it beforehand. That's Leslie's hotline, by the way. And just letting you know, that is awesome because it's actually his wife that sings that. And the reason why I actually wanted him to play it for us was it's really catchy. I want you to remember it and also check out his podcast. That was the reason. It's sort of like a little freebie promotion for you there, Leslie.
And if any one of you guys want to, connect with me or you have a question or a comment, you can just go ahead and call the number at
352-414.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting, man. It is awesome. Well, let's just come back to it. Yeah, the story is that you started off freebie trading. You set up your forum, or you purchased that forum. You ran that for quite a bit of time, and then from there you realized, wow, you're working a heck of a lot on that business. And since then, when you took a break to actually spend more time reviewing what's going on, you started actually realizing there's a lot more that you could do in terms of working less and making money passively. But at the
Exactly.
same time, I remember you mentioned to me you're also a biology teacher. Is that right?
That was correct.
Well, it's correct,
Um,
sir.
it was. A lot has happened recently. I was a biology teacher at a high school teaching science and math. So I was teaching, it was a boarding school, a Christian boarding school. So I was, at those boarding schools, they have you doing everything.
Yes.
I was teaching biology and physics and geometry and algebra half and consumer math and a number of other things. But okay, so that's what I was doing. And then I knew that my passion was for biology. So what I decided to do was start a website that teaches people biology online. And that's where I started focusing my efforts because I was teaching at the high school level, but that's not what I was passionate about. I was more passionate about college biology and more advanced stuff like physiology. And my master's degree was in neurobiology, and that's really what I get excited about.
Wow.
So I started my website where I would just put videos, short videos, explaining one concept because I know that a lot of people struggle with that. And, I put one video up and then I put another video and I'd continue doing that. And I basically set up but I set up a video blog. I use YouTube and I have my WordPress blog. I post my videos to YouTube and then and then I post that to my blog. And what happened was pretty amazing because as I put more videos on there, more and more people from all over the world were coming to the site, using the site, everyone from high school students all the way to medical professionals and college and graduate students and people studying nursing, pharmacy. And I mean, all these kind of people from all over the world started accessing my site and using the resource of my site. And it right now it's to a point where every single day I get a handful of testimonials coming in from people saying, I was going to fail my class and I found your videos and they really helped me. But the reason I'm telling you that is I set up this blog doing what I wanted to do in life. I wanted to teach more advanced topics in biology. And as a result of the blog, now I am teaching at a university level. I don't have a PhD. I just got a new job teaching in a doctor of physical therapy program, teaching the kind of things that I'm passionate about. So I'm teaching anatomy, neuroscience, and pathophysiology. Those are things that, I mean, typically you need to have a PhD in order to
get those things. Exactly.
I don't have a PhD, but I had my blog. And when I went in for the interview and I showed them my blog and I showed them what I was doing, they were like, wow, this is awesome. It would be so great to have someone in our department that knows how to do this kind of stuff. And I said, yeah, it would,
Of course. It must have blown their socks off. They must have, I got to get him on board.
That's exactly what happens. And, when we think about blogging and internet marketing, and I have nothing against this. It's typically about, how can I make more money and what can I do online that will give me more money and how can I take the money and make more money with the money,
Yeah, it's not,
but
it
goes way beyond that. It goes to where you can start helping people and really changing the world with what you're presenting if you're doing a good job at what you're doing. And for me, it opened up the opportunity for me to teach at a university level. So, yes, I was a biology teacher, and now I'm teaching at the university level, just starting now. And a lot has happened with that.
I was going to say, life is going to be completely different because instead of working, say, 12 to 14 weeks a year, you're going to be working on basically 14, 16 weeks twice a year. And that's it. Then you got so much time free, man. I love college days.
Yes, man, it's special.
It's special. If I could, I would probably just go back to uni just for the sake of that.
It's a lot of fun for me, at least. A lot of people say, "Oh, I can't wait to get out of school." I just love learning.
Yeah. Me too.
And I guess that's why I love teaching because the more I teach, the more I learn.
Exactly.
And that for me is exciting.
Yeah, I think that's the way. I think a lot of people don't realize that people can actually learn a lot more from just sharing and teaching. And that's what I've learned as well in the past is when I'm able to teach the concept again in my way and understand it, it means that I really have taken that learning in myself and really can teach it to others as well. So
Exactly.
that's awesome, man. That is awesome. All right. Well, it's really cool to be able to hear about your story and listen to just what things have been happening with you. Obviously, for you, it's there's been quite a lot that's been happening. You know, you've taken a bit of time off and stuff like that. But to be able to handle all these things, like, when was it at that point in time that you realized, wow, I can't do this all myself? Because this is where you start sharing with me as well. You started outsourcing too.
This was around coming down the end of 2009. And because I had gotten so much exposure in the industry, everyone that was in the industry knew about me and knew about what I was doing, and they respected what I was doing because I really try to do things from an ethical standpoint. And sometimes you see people doing big things, but you can see that they're doing something that's just unethical.
Yep.
So a lot of people were looking at what I was doing, and all of a sudden there was no more Leslie. And people are speculating and worried about, hey, is he okay, and so on. Eventually, I just let everyone know I needed a break. I couldn't do it anymore. I'm burnt out.
Yep.
I'm not spending time with my wife. I'm not doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing. This is crazy. I'm done for now.
Yep.
And we'll see what happens. So coming down to the end of 2009, as we got into 2010, I started getting back into internet marketing and what I was doing at the forum and so on. And I realized that the forum wasn't for me. Freebie trading was no longer for me. There were some changes that happened that just made it so that it wasn't what it used to be. So when I started my biology blog, and I think this is the biggest part that has to do with outsourcing. Before I was doing some outsourcing. When I started making some money, I decided I went through your mass outsource mastermind, and I saw what you were doing, and I said, you know what, I need to do some of this. So I am the kind of person that I could stay on my website and just do all kinds of design tweaks, and I want my header to look just right, and I spent hours and hours doing that.
Yep.
I decided that I couldn't do that anymore.
Yep.
Anything to do with design, I outsourced it. Anything to do with not anything, but a lot of the technical stuff, I outsourced. If I needed to figure out how to do something, I went and I found someone and I got them to do it. And for me, that was essential because I'm not the person that's trying to do this full time. I'm the person that has a full-time job, and I'm doing this on the side just to supplement my income, just because I enjoy doing it. I love helping people do what they're doing and accomplish their goals. So I needed to be more efficient.
Yep.
Now, when I started my biology site, I really wanted that to be my big long-term project, and I knew that I wanted to go about this one the right way in terms of how much time I was spending. Now, the content for me is the most important thing. And I want to make sure that my content, my videos are as high quality as I can do them. So I didn't outsource that. I make my videos. And when I make my videos, I upload them to YouTube. And then I just let my outsourcer from the Philippines know that, hey, my video is up, do what you do. And then she goes in, she transcribes the videos, she posts the videos to my blog, she then posts the transcripts to my blog, she links to the relevant posts on my blog, and she basically manages setting up my blog with the content that I made.
That's awesome.
And that really, it really helps a lot, because that's stuff that takes a lot of time that I don't have to do.
Exactly.
And I don't want to do. I don't care.
Exactly.
I don't care about transcription. I just care that people are getting the value that they need to have.
Yeah, that's really good, because I'm also in the same boat as well. I had a system set up just exactly like you. After I finish the quality of videos, I just pass it on to my video editor, and then he takes that process with the virtual assistant. Basically, getting all the video up there, writing the content so that it matches up the video. But essentially, when people are watching a video, it's just me. It can't be anyone else, because I am the outsourcing guy. What's really interesting is when you did talk about how you had a change in terms of where you want to head with regards to what you wanted to do in your life, and taking that break obviously gave you a real big time to be able to think a lot
Oh,
more.
yeah.
It allowed you to be able to go, okay, I want to change the way I want to do things, which is really interesting, because now it sounds like you've got the end in mind already. You already thought about it clearer before just jumping straight into it. Is that?
That is exactly what it is. Because the first time I got into internet marketing, it wasn't because necessarily I was looking for something. It just kind of stumbled on, and I just kind of went. And I learned as I went, but I didn't really have a plan. I was like, oh, wait, I made $70 in one day. Well, let me do this again. And let me continue doing this and just go and go and go and go. And when you realize that the more you work, the more you make money. Oh, yeah, let's do this. Realize that it's not just about making the money, because life is about much more than money. I mean, money, yes, that enhances things. It allows you to do things that you could not have done if you didn't have the money. But that's really not what life is about. Life is about relationships. Life is about relationships with your family, with your spouse, with your friends, with God. There's so many different aspects of life that you can't just be focused on this money thing, because money comes and money goes. You take money and you put a flame to it and it's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
So the second time I went into this, I knew, okay, this is what I want to accomplish. I want to help people with biology, and I want to help people with internet marketing. And that's kind of difficult because, I have a full-time job, and if you want to do biology, well, it takes a lot of time. If you want to do internet marketing and, teaching people to build online businesses, that takes a lot of time also. So you got to be really strategic about how you approach it, so that you can accomplish what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And from what it sounds like you've done, you've sat down and strategically thought about it now and be able to put these things into play. And that's
Exactly.
really, really amazing. I'm actually also curious then, how do you balance all this? Because you've got your own virtual assistant, and also too, you've got your full-time job plus the two other websites. How are you balancing all this?
That's the $1 million question. And when you figure it out, call me and let me know.
I'll call the hotline, Leslie.
Call the hotline. Just in case you forgot the number, the hotline is
888-835-2414.
Oh yeah. Okay, but all jokes aside, no, I've learned a few strategies, and they sound simple. A lot of people ask me how I do it, and I give them this answer, and they're like, no, that's too simple. But it's really what it is. For me, I had to look at, when am I the most effective? When am I the most productive? And what I realized was that if I wake up in the morning early before everyone else, undisturbed, I can get a lot more done. So what I do now is I wake up at 4:45. I wake up, I do my things that I do. I have my worship, I get ready and all that kind of stuff. And then I come down into the basement, and this is work time. Yes. And I can spend the next 2 hours working on a specific project. What people tend to do a lot is they overcomplicate internet marketing. They think about all the different things that they got to do, and then they think that they have to do all of those things. When it comes down to it, what I found is you put really good quality content out there, a lot of the marketing takes care of itself. Not all of the marketing, but a lot of the marketing takes care of itself. With my biology website, I'm doing some pretty decent traffic right now. It's not amazing. I get maybe anywhere between 7,000 and 10,000 unique visitors a month. So it's not huge, but it's pretty good.
It's definitely pretty good, especially when I remember you mentioned it in one of your podcasts that you started off with about 2,000 or 3,000, and every month they kept growing.
Exactly, and really, the serious growth just started this year when I started focusing more on, let's just put the content out there, and the more content I put out there, the better. So I started putting that content out there, and really, honestly, all I've done in terms of marketing is I've probably emailed a few people and let them know, hey, this is what I'm doing. I think this is valuable to your audience. You might want to check it out. Let me know what you think. And the response has always been great because why? I put really good quality content out there. So I started putting the videos regularly. So in the morning when I wake up, I know that, okay, this is what I want to accomplish. I want to make one video and that's it. I don't want to make a video, go and tweet about it. I don't want to go on Facebook and post about it and then have to try to comment on a bunch of blogs and do this and do that. No. My goal for today is just make one video. And I wake up in the morning. I plan the day before, the night before I go to bed, and I say, this is what I want to accomplish. I want to accomplish one video for my interactive biology website.
Yes.
And I want to start on a post for Learning with Leslie. And just as an example.
Yep.
And that's all I want to do. I do that. I let my outsourcer know it's there. She does what she needs to do. And the content is good quality. It takes care of itself. Now, I don't want to say don't market because, you need to market.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you have the time, do that. If you have outsources that can do some of that thing for you, those things for you, do that. I also did that in the beginning. One of the things I did, for example, is I hired someone to just specifically go and contact owners of sites and say, hey, this is what we have. Do you think this would be valuable for your audience? And a number of people linked back to the site. Contacting university professors saying, hey, this is what we have. You can use it in your class. So I paid someone to do that. I started doing some of it in the beginning, and then I said, you know what? Forget this. Let me just write a manual. That's something that's just repetitive. You just do this, do that. I don't need to be doing that. I need to focus on the content. I need to focus on the strategy. I need to focus on networking with certain individuals that can give me more exposure. And not just that, giving them value. And when you give people value, you get value in return. So I guess how I manage it, I simplify it and I decide what is absolutely essential for me to do. And then I just do that. And I don't try to accomplish a lot in one day. One video takes maybe a half hour to make, maybe 45 minutes or an hour. That doesn't sound like a lot. And the reason it doesn't sound like a lot is because it's not a lot.
No.
But if you do it consistently every day, you'd be surprised at what happens.
Yeah, what you've said just really touched me as well because I'm also very much on the same strategic mindset as you doing that because that's the reason why I started Outsourcing Live as well recently. And I've been monitoring what's been going on. And I've noticed the more videos, the more quality content that you get out there, it's just a matter of time because what happens is that multiply effect comes into play. I found that exactly what happens when I did Tyrone Shum channel on the YouTube. It multiplied dramatically. I think after about 100 odd videos, now I've got 160,000 views on that channel. So
awesome.
It just takes time. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't really understand is that it takes time. And just like what you said, a very straight, focused task that you've been doing for these in the mornings, and then you leave all the rest of the stuff like the administration tasks that you do to your outsourcers.
There's something that you mentioned there, and that was that it takes time. This is a problem that I see when it comes to internet marketing. Everyone and their mama, everybody's saying, hey, I found this system. It's a turnkey system. You just buy my product for $47 and I'm going to show you how I went from $0 to $10,000 in 15 days. And we've gotten so used to seeing that we forget that it takes time, it takes effort, it takes significant planning to get stuff done. And what happens is a lot of people come into internet marketing and they listen to the gurus, and the gurus say, if you do this, you will make $100,000, six-figure income. And they're like, wow, that's great. And they do it, and they don't make the money. And they say, wow, this doesn't work. I'm going to leave.
And then move on to the next one.
And they move on to the next guru. And his is $147, so it must be better, They try to chasing these dreams. When it comes to making money online, it's really simple. In my opinion, and maybe I like to dumb things down because I'm dumb. I don't know.
No, you're not. You're a good teacher.
The simple thing is this. Find a need, meet a need. and do it very, very well. The problem that a lot of people see is that there's so much competition out there. But when it really comes down to it, there's a lot of websites out there, and a lot of them are crap.
Yep.
And if you can come into a niche and do your content better, different, special, if you can do that, when people see it, they're going to share it. Social media is powerful. That's how it happens today. And if you're doing good things and you do it consistently over a significant period of time, if you're in the right niche, you did your research and you can see, okay, this is viable. It can happen. It just takes time, takes effort, it takes strategic planning and outsourcing, definitely.
I totally agree with you. And you've chosen a good niche as well in the biology one, because I haven't seen anyone do it on the net as much as you have.
You see, and there were a lot of people with biology websites. You do a
Yes.
search for biology, is very competitive.
Yes.
But a lot of it, there's some decent ones out there, but there are no sites. There's not one site out there like mine. And all I've done is one video at a time. This video explains this process. That video explains that process. And it doesn't have to be video. It could be text. It could be audio, a podcast. Just like, we're doing an interview right now. It can be interviews that are valuable in a certain way. You find that angle and then you work it consistently over time.
Exactly. I love how you said it's consistently over time. And this is where I think the power of outsourcing comes in, because
Yep.
I myself personally am lazy. I can tell you that up front, and they won't know, because I don't follow through strong enough with things, and that's the reason why I got a strong team behind me. But
Uh-huh.
in terms of your business and also what you currently do, tell me a little bit more about how your teams work together, or how do you work with your outsourcer, and who do you have on your team?
Right now, I have one person on my team. I don't have a huge operation or anything like that. I have one outsourcer that I found from the Philippines. I got her on Odesk. I put an ad saying I'm looking for someone to transcribe biology videos. They have to be familiar with biological terms because sometimes the terms are very complicated. And I was surprised at the responses that I got back from nurses and from people that working on PhDs. And I'm like, wait a minute, you realize I'm only paying, $3-4 an hour. But eventually I chose someone and I'm working with that one person long term.
That's great.
Okay, so I whenever I transcribe a video, I just let her know, and immediately she gets on it. Whenever I record a video, she gets on it, she transcribes, she posts it to the blog. So my system is really simple. I upload, I tell her I uploaded, and she does everything else.
Yep, this is exactly the reason why I got you on the call, because you are a really good case study for this, because there's a lot of people in a similar situation who want to actually get someone to do these things as well. And I think that's the reason why I wanted to share a lot of the things that you've been doing, just to let people know that it's possible. You don't have to have a big team. Like big corporations hire tens of thousands of people, or probably not that, probably hundreds of people. But
Yeah, and you don't have to have that much money really. And there's a mentality of, if I'm paying someone, then that's money that I don't get. Well, it's money that you don't get, but it's also time that you don't have to spend. And your time, I consider my time significantly more valuable than $5 an hour. So that's time that I don't have to invest, and things are still getting done. And over the long term, you end up being much more successful. If I were doing it on my own, number one, I wouldn't put as many videos out there, because I'm trying to put the videos on the blog and transcribe and all that kind of stuff. So I would go from doing 3 to 5 videos a week to maybe doing 1 or 2 videos. And that's less content out there, less traffic, less of a business,
yes.
because it's just dependent on you. I mean, there's only so much you can do. If you're sick for a little while, nothing gets done, because it depends fully on you. And I don't like that.
No, I totally agree with you. And it's amazing what you've just said. You don't want to be dependent on you. And that's the reason why it's so powerful to have somebody there to help you do that. I mean,
Exactly.
From my personal experience, I took off the month of July to go and get married in Bali. And because of that, I still had everything being continually done. And just like you, as you said, I created all the videos and everything was all transcribed, posted automatically by them, and they just continued to manage the whole process without me being around. And that's what I really admire, exactly what you've done too, because that's exactly what people should be learning to do. In terms of blogging, for yourself as well, what other things have you also outsourced in the last probably say 12 months that you think has really had a dramatic effect on your business?
In the last 12 months in terms of blogging, a few design things.
Yep.
Let's see, anything else that I've outsourced in the last 12 months? I can't think of anything else because I've been so focused on no, I'm lying. Okay.
Here we go.
I'm remembering. Okay, so I have my transcription and posting to the blog. I told you about I had someone that I put kind of in charge of marketing, and they would contact universities, website owners, and so on. And wait, I think that's it in the last 12 months. But before that, when I was getting everything set up, design, setup of the website, there are a few scripts that I had written for my blog that I didn't know how to do. And typically what I do then is just go and research, do Google searches, figure out how to do this and that, and then I do it myself. And it wouldn't turn out as well as, you spend a few dollars and get somebody to do it. They do it in 2 days as opposed to you spending, the 2 weeks to try to get it.
Exactly.
Besides that, I think that's pretty much it. When I was running the forum, for example, I outsourced some of the marketing, but I did a few other things. I got people to help me, but I ran an internship, I called it. And internship is a nice way of saying free outsourcers.
Okay.
But it was a system where I teach you how to do certain things. I teach you how to, and this was actually pretty cool. I got a group of I think it was about 20 people on the forums, and I said, I will teach you how to comment on blogs for traffic. I will teach you how to market in forums. I will teach you how to, I think there were about 7 different tasks, and I had videos showing them how to do it, and they would have to, they can take that information. It's a free course that I put them through. They don't have to pay money for it, but in return for that free training, I expect you to do X, Y, and Z. And that actually went very well. That was
that's very smart.
Yeah, it was a big part of how we were able to grow the forum by an extra 20, 30,000 people, because we had an internship running for a certain amount of time, and there was a private sub forum so that we could communicate with each other. They can let me know I taught them keyword research. I taught them some backlinking strategies and a number of those things. And they did some of that for the forum, and that helped grow the traffic. So that's outsourcing, but not really paying for the outsourcing. But it worked. It worked for both parties.
Excellent.
They get to learn, and we get some traffic from it.
Exactly. And don't be surprised if I go and take that idea and implement it.
It's not patented, so you can use it. But I stole it from somebody else. Hey.
Actually, I got to admit, there is one thing that I did pick up recently from your podcast, and I've already outsourced it immediately, was to actually thank you to every single subscriber on YouTube. That was an amazing, smart little strategy. And
I need to outsource that myself because I spent much time doing that.
What? I thought you already outsourced it.
I'm not outsourcing that. I actually go through. But you know what I do? I use this script. This program called Text Expander.
Oh, okay.
So all I have to do is type a few letters, and it types the full thing. So when someone subscribed, I go to YouTube and I go in the subject field and I press TYU and it writes thank you. And then I go into the message field and then I type YTTY. That stands for YouTube, thank you. And then it writes out my whole spiel and thanks them for visiting. For checking out the videos and for subscribing, and tell them they can go to the website and all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't take a lot of time, but I don't have to do that. Why am I doing that?
Well, as soon as I heard about that, I just said, I got to give it to Joanna, and Joanna's been doing it for me. So I'm like, okay.
It really does make a difference. I don't know how many people have written me messages back and saying, oh, thank you so much for taking the time to thank me for subscribing to your channel. I love what you're doing, and this is really special. It makes a difference. It's just one little thing that you can do to let people know that you value them just taking the time to watch what you have, because really it's about them. It's not really about you. They're there because they want to learn certain things. And when they see that the person that's actually doing it actually cares for them and wants them to do well, hey, it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, that's so true. So true. And what's interesting is, since doing that, I've actually seen quite a bit of traffic coming back to my site because of that. So I have to thank you for that. And
oh, awesome.
it works. It definitely works. Well, Leslie, I'm curious as well, too, is with regards to, say, all your marketing that you've been doing, and you mentioned that you've been doing a bit of marketing for yourself, but also you've got your outsourcer or your virtual assistant helping you with regards to the transcriptions and process behind that. What are your plans for the marketing of your biology and learning with Leslie down the track? Are you planning to do more of that yourself, or are you planning to get that? What are your plans with that?
Well, you see, because of the type of site it is, it's growing dynamically. I mean, organically. That's one part of it. So I know the search engine traffic, it just continues increasing. And then as the school year goes on, in the summer, the traffic was relatively low. So that's when I hit like the 7,000. I think it went down to 7,300 or something like that. And as the school year starts, which it's just getting started now, the traffic is increasing naturally because people are searching for terms that are in the videos that I'm writing. So that's going to continue. Another thing that I'm doing is, for example, I just launched an ebook today, and I'm so excited about it because I've never seen an ebook like it. It's an interactive ebook. It's a simple PDF, but it's cool. It's formatted really nice. It has a lot of pictures and diagrams and that kind of stuff. But then if you read a section and you don't understand a section, there's a little icon that says watch video. And I have like 50 something videos linked to from the different sections in the book. So if you're reading the ebook and you don't understand it, you click on watch video and it takes you to the website. So I have that, and I just launched that. It's my first paid product on the website. I just launched it a few hours ago.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. But what I'm going to be doing there now is I'm going to set up an affiliate. Well, I've already set up an affiliate program, and I'm going to start contacting some site owners and saying, hey, I noticed you have some banners on your site. You have a biology site, but you have banners. I just emailed someone a little while ago, actually, someone that linked to my site in their sidebar, which brought a significant amount of traffic. They have a bunch of banners on their site, and they're all unrelated, but they have the banners there because they need to make some money because they have a popular site and server costs have increased. So I said in the email, I saw that you said somewhere that you're putting these banners because you need to offset the cost of running the site. But I also noticed that the banners are not relevant to your audience. Now, I just launched this, and it's very relevant to your audience. Consider being an affiliate. You get 50% commission, and you can replace those banners. I can set you up with banners, and you can put them on your site. And I think that's one of the big strategies I'm going to do. Affiliates, you don't see that in biology.
You don't see that at all in biology, but we see a lot of that in the internet marketing niche.
Exactly. So you can take some of those same principles from internet marketing and apply it in biology or cake decorating, or I don't know, whatever you're doing.
Everything.
And that's my next strategy that I'm going to try, connecting with relatively popular sites and trying to see if they promote it as an affiliate. Now, beyond that, I think that for the type of stuff that I'm doing, I think it's newsworthy. So I'm also going to try to do something with PR, and I want to get on some news station talking about the site. And I think from there, you get on one, and then you get on the next, and so on. I mean, I'm probably oversimplifying it, but I want to start hitting some mainstream media just to see how that will complement what I'm doing and what that would do for the traffic, because there are not a lot of people doing this.
No, just like your interview with Phil Taylor, if I remember correctly.
Exactly.
Yeah, on about finance, personal finance.
Exactly. And, I got that tip from him. I specifically interviewed him because I knew that he was doing some of that. And I want to get that type of exposure because I think it's very appropriate. I mean, people are to learn different ways to learn biology, because neurobiology is a complicated topic. Physiology, that's complicated. And if you can have a resource that's giving value, I think people want to know about that.
Hey, I mean, I have absolutely no idea about biology, but because you simplify it so easily, I'm going to be watching them too and learning.
But there you go. Hey, you can be a neurobiologist by the end of the week, man.
Exactly. Oh, I'm going to definitely get into it just to check it out, because I have a huge interest in biology. I did biology, just studied it back in year 7, and I really, really loved it. But the thing about that one was it was all about sex reproduction. So
Oh, well, you got to love that.
that was definitely a good topic. I think we all enjoyed it.
Oh,
Regardless.
yeah.
Oh, that's all good. Hey, that's really cool, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. And hopefully, in a few more months' time, be able to come back and check out what you're doing. And if your team expands for more of this stuff, and you're getting more business coming through, then love you to share more of your case studies through there and let me know what's happening. I mean, we could actually turn this whole podcast or this little interview today on about talking about how to make money using niche sites.
There you go. I mean, there's so much to be said there.
Exactly. But I've learned a lot today. Seriously, I've learned so much from you in regards to some of these strategies that you used. It's really great to be able to hear from you just how you're doing your outsourcing as well. And it's really amazing that you've taken the things that you've learned over the last many years and implemented a lot of them. And once again, I said a lot of people just need to take action. You say it all the time as well too.
Say my podcast all the time. Take action. If you're not, you can't do the same thing and expect to have different results. And you can't just sit back and learn and learn and learn. There are probably a lot of people that listen to your podcast, watch your podcast because they want to learn. And they go to other podcasts and they read other blogs and they learn and learn. And learning is good. But you want to learn? Take action.
Take action, exactly. And you learn from those. Even if you stumble, even if you make a mistake, that's fine. But you can learn from those mistakes. But if you don't do anything, you won't learn anything, to be honest. So
Exactly it.
Well, Leslie, before I do wrap this up, I want to ask you, this is what I usually ask all my interviews is, at the end of it, is what thing right now for you is working really, really well in your business that you can give to people so that they can take action on that?
What's working really well for me, a lot of it has to do with exactly what I just said. Put out really good content. And this is something that I'm trying to do more, even on my Learning with Leslie site where I teach about internet marketing and so on. I'm actually taking a step back and trying to apply the same principles that I'm using in my biology site. Really try to, you can put a lot of content out there, yes, but there's a difference between a lot of content and good quality content, because you get a lot more from the good quality content. And I saw Pat Flynn talking about that in one of his posts recently, and a lot of people talking about that, but it's very true. Do good stuff. My goal with what I'm doing is to change the world. I want the world to people are going to medical school and struggling to understand the concept. I want to make sure that if you're a doctor, you know what you're talking about. And if I could help in that, that's a good thing. So really trying to help people and showing people that you really genuinely care. Money is great, like I said, but it's not about the money. So I try to tell people, just put good quality content that's going to help people solve problems. And if you can do that, awesome things can happen.
Yes, awesome things do happen. And I've seen that already with your blog and a lot of things that you've done as well. Before we do wrap it up, this is going to be a funny one, actually. If I ask you, how can they get in contact with you? You're most welcome to play the hotline number.
Just in case they didn't hear it the first time, you can call the hotline at
888-835-2414.
Now, just to explain what that does, I have my podcast at learningwithleslie.com. And on that podcast, I try to talk about the things that I'm learning. I try to give lessons and just practical things that people can listen to and say, you know what, I can do that. That's simple enough. When you say it that way, it makes sense, and give them some guidance. It's not something that they have to pay for. It's 100% free. You just listen in and hopefully you learn some gold nuggets here and there. Learningwithleslie.com, that's my main website. And when you go there, you'll see me advertising a 7-day boot camp. And in my 7-day boot camp, it's at 7daybootcamp.net. That's the number 7daybootcamp.net. Over 7 days, I explain from the beginning to the end, how do you do your keyword research? How do you set up your website, install WordPress? You get your domain name, you get your hosting, you install WordPress. Okay, once you've done that, where do you go from there? How do you get it to look the way you want it to look? What kind of content should you be putting on your site? How do you get traffic? And once you've gotten traffic, well, how do you make money from that traffic? What's this internet business thing all about? And over 7 days, I just walk them through that process. Once again, 100% free. I put it out there because I want to help people. My goal is to empower people to go out there and do big things online, because the internet is where everything is right now. If you don't have a website, something's wrong. You're running a business and you don't have a website, you're doing it the wrong way. You need to be online. And there's so much that's happening online, and the barrier to entry is much lower than it ever has been. You can get a website. You pay $10 a year for your domain name, and you pay $5 a month for your hosting, and you can have something there that can be a solid business that's going to last you a significant period of time. So I just kind of walk them through the process with some videos and some text and some action steps. And I say, this is how you do it. This is what I want you to do. Step 1, step 2, step 3. And they can check that out. You can contact me there. On Twitter, you can contact me, Leslie Samuel. Those are ways to contact me. You already heard the hotline. If you have a question and you want me to answer it on the podcast, you can call the hotline and I answer it on the podcast.
That's great. Well, I mean, it's easy to connect with Leslie anyway, because I've connected with him many times, and
Yes,
definitely
indeed.
he's very personable, as you can see, and we have a lot of fun, and we get very excited when we start talking about all this internet marketing stuff. I'm gonna have to do another podcast just on talking about internet marketing with you rather than outsourcing.
That's all good, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, we'll do it again. This is fun. It's been awesome. Well, Leslie, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you, and I've learned so much already. And I know that a lot of these are basic principles and concepts, but at the end of the day, it's really good to be reminded of them and really take action on them. So thank you again, and I hope everyone enjoyed it too.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, and look forward to coming on again and doing some more of this.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Thanks again.
All right.
It's time for the Outsourcing Live Quick Tip. So the plugin that I'm recommending right now is a tool that you can install with WordPress. As long as you have WordPress installed on your server or on your website, you can just go and search for this particular plugin. Now, this plugin allows you to be able to generate more traffic, because the fact is that you're able to submit a sitemap to Google to inform them. Now, the plugin's called Google XML Sitemap for Videos, and you can search that through the plugins once you go through in your WordPress. It's a very easy plugin to install. Just search for that title, as I mentioned, which is Google XML Sitemap for Videos, and once you've installed it, it's pretty simple to set up. Now, what will happen is that once you've got this set up, you'll notice that it'll generate some thumbnails of all your videos that you have inside your site. And the most important thing you need to make sure that you do have set up is YouTube, because what will happen is that this sitemap this plugin will generate video sitemap thumbnails directly from the YouTube image. And what it'll do as well is that it will take all the information that you have on your title and also your description and put it in, and then submit that to Google to let them know that you have videos on your site. And this has been very, very effective for me, because I do run a video site or video blog, and that way I can actually put out a lot of our videos and it'd be still found and indexed by Google. And a lot of people click on them because the fact is that there's an image next to the text, rather than just looking at all the text that's listed inside Google. So now if you want to see that, you can see this also right now on the video, and you can see right in front of me all the things that I have that have been set up for the video sitemap. Now, I've also created a step-by-step tutorial for you as well, and you can access it at outsourcinglive.com/video sitemap-tutorial. And I'll run through step by step on how to install that plugin, where to get the plugin, and how to get it to work. And it's very easy to do. And once you get that set up, it's pretty easy to run, and it just automatically sets that up for you as well and submits all your videos to Google once you've uploaded them. Alright, so that's a really powerful plugin that I've been using, and it's been very effective, and you can see inside the tutorial what it does. Now, if you'd like to leave some more comments on the site about Outsourcing Live, and also to the video sitemap tutorial, you can do it there at that link.
Now, if you like more resources like this one, you can find them inside Mass Outsource Mastermind, along with video tutorials and step-by-step instructions showing exactly how I use them. To get a 30-day, no-risk trial membership to Mass Outsource Mastermind, simply visit freevideoset.com. Until next time, I wish you success in your quest for outsourcing.